Hello chaps and chapesses, and today we are fishing at Broadlands down on the Lower River Test. Broadlands has always been one of my favourite fisheries on the Lower Test, mostly because it's brilliant for technical fishing. There's a lot of water, sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating, but the fish quality down here is absolutely brilliant. It's been a bit of a strange spring. It's really late this year, as I think I said in an earlier vlog. We're now kind of into mid-May, and I'm still wearing a coat. I'm going to be wearing all my waterproofs, and they're talking about some fairly heavy winds coming in this afternoon, which could make life very interesting. Who knows? We're going to go fishing, we're going to find out what happens. Today, I'm fishing with Charlotte. We never get to fish together. We're going to have some fun, although I'm slightly nervous about the weather.
Yeah, it's a bit gusty.
A bit gusty. They're talking about 35, 40 miles an hour wind. We're going to wander down to Grove, which is the lower beat. We might be able to find some sheltered areas underneath the trees. And then we're going to fish. So exciting, we don't get to fish at all. Alright, let's go. Those swifts are really dancing. And they're low on the water as well. There's got to be a hatch or something coming off.
See anything?
Not from here. So how many times have you been out this season so far?
This is my first day out.
First day out. Yes.
Yeah, no, I haven't
This will
been
be-
out yet.
I think this will be my second day's actually fishing. And what did you say, the first day in 15 years we've actually fished together?
No, we've fished together twice.
Twice in 15 years.
Yeah, business partners for 15 years and fishing partners twice. It's pretty cool.
That is a bit pathetic. I think we need to rectify that.
We should try harder.
I suppose we've always operated under the theory that one of us has to remain in the office.
I know, it's usually me.
I don't really know how to combat that actually.
I wouldn't be if I were you.
Guilty as charged, me lad.
Yeah.
So we're just tucking in quietly against the edge here. So there's normally quite a few good fish hanging against this deep edge. We'll keep well to the right. The swifts and the swallows are still swooping low, which is great. There's normally a couple of good fish down here. Hoping we might see a rise or two despite the rubbish weather. We're just going to wait here for a couple of minutes. Just have a look and see if anything arises. It's one of the first things I always find, that most people rush in and start casting immediately, and actually it's really important just to take a minute.
It's good for the soul game, by the way.
It is nice to be by the water. Here, quite often the fish like to lie quite close in here. And then there's like a sandbar. So you see where the weed... Yeah, you see where the... Exactly.
Sandy bar over there.
So quite often the fish like to lie in these pockets in between the weed, quite close in. And then they often lie all the way down the outside there. There's a fish just risen literally off the tree on the other side. This is a long old cast. Those birds are really working it. Haven't seen anything rise yet, apart from that one though. So I think, Charlotte, you can start, because ladies first. You know, one must observe decorum. And I think what I would do is stick quite close to the fringe area here.
Yeah.
And then work your way up, fishing this first third of water.
Yeah.
And just scatter casting your way up through here, because I bet there's one or two good fish holding in this area here. Let's give it a go and see what happens.
Stick with that hawthorn?
I'd start with the hawthorn. If we see any olives, you know, we might get some large dark olives. I'd really like to see some iron blues. Normally like to hatch on really crappy days like this. But as we're still mid-May and we've got hawthorn, older fly, older beetle, and the odd mayfly popping off because of the late spring, it really is very confusing to know what to fish with.
And it's brightening up.
And it is brightening up.
Oh, it's gonna last long.
That's obviously before the hurricane arrives. Well, let's get to it then.
Okay.
That's it. Lovely cast. I wouldn't cast much further than that because you need to keep control of the line. It's right there. Great cast. Hold on, nice and close in. See that hawthorn just coming down there? Got him? Right there. Now the reason I like those hawthorns from Fulling Mill is they've got a foam body, which means that they don't sink. So when it comes to line control on the river, what you're really trying to achieve is just remaining in contact with your fly. So unlike a flat, you know, where the line goes out and lands flat and then you're directly in contact with it, the river's obviously pushing it towards you. So you've just got to pull in enough line fast enough that you maintain contact with the fly. So that if a fish does take, but you don't want the fly to drag. So it's that fine line between not making the fly drag but remaining in contact. Does that answer your question?
Well, it does. It's just one of those things that's just practice.
You know, fishing that up very nicely. So I'm sneaking down into this slightly shallower area down here. See if I can find anything in the tail out of this pool. And the high sedge. It's going to make a nice high back cast. Try not to get too much drag as it comes through there. So the water's a little dark because of all the rain that we've had. I'm just chucking a line up along the inside edge of this sedge here, hoping there might be something tucked in. I'm just scatter casting my way through there with a hawthorn and just prospecting. There's nothing rising at the moment, although we are nicely sheltered from the wind down here. Staying in contact, maintaining contact with that fly. Hoping that the fish are looking up. So I was casting away quite happily and then realised that something had gone a bit wrong. Yes. So the hawthorn, because it's a bigger terrestrial, it's just spinning horrendously. So to combat that, I'm going to change the leader tip, and I'm going to change the tippet material I'm using from 6x to probably about 4x. Try and thicken it up a little bit and stop that fly spinning so badly. So I've seen a couple of fish just moving around along the edge here. And there was one that actually rose right on the other side of that feed line there. It's moving quite quickly though. Pushing through there fast. Very short space of time to actually get a drag-free drift on there. And it's quite a long way over. Did see him rise though. And then it's dragging. Oh, it's a tough one. Very tough. And there's one fish just rising in the neck on the other side there. Doing a bit of a mess with my line. Let's see if we can put one right over there. Use a little bit kickback cast there just to make the fly turn over right at the end of the long cast. I find that quite useful with a 4-weight sometimes. It's dragging already. The swifts are still working it hard. Oh, just got blown back. No, not going to work today. No, there's a few fly moving, but there's nothing moving to them, is there? Maybe we should go up a bit higher and see what's going on a little further up the river.
I was debating whether to swap my hawthorn, but
It's as good a fly as any when, you know, you're prospecting. I mean, you could go to a horrible, hairy Rob Gent's Daddy Longlegs if you want. So I'm seeing a lot of swift activity on this section. It's a little bit more sheltered by these big poplars here. So I think I'm going to hop in here and have a quick cast up this edge. It's got to be something feeding, even if it's not visible. Well, the weather's coming in, sadly. As we suspected, it's about roughly when the weather forecast said it was going to happen. Yes. This is going to make life very challenging. Those birds are still working feverishly though. There is a lot of water here to fish. Sadly, it's really pumping through. We've tried quite hard this morning.
we have. I mean, I just haven't seen anything.
No, there's just nothing coming up. It's just too cold. Sadly, and the swifts are still working the river like lunatics. It's probably black midge being blown on the water or something like that, but I haven't really seen too many olives. But also, there's just nothing coming up to me. We need to find somewhere calm and out of the way. Anyway, in the meantime, I think it's time we go and have a drink. It's lunchtime.
Okay, you know what happened last time we fished together and we had a drink?
Yes, maybe not repeated that.
No, maybe not.
As you can see, it's blowing a hoolie down there. Well, these beats, I mean, Grove and Moorcourt and Longbridge, you know, they're sort of 3-4 rod beats. There's a lot of space here, and it's quite wild fishing. It's not your sort of typically manicured test fishing, but that's why I love it.
That's really beautiful. Just wish the wind would stop.
Look at that.
Isn't that awesome seeing the
Swift just charging up and down the river. Mr. Patterson, I presume. How are you getting on? Well done. That's quite an effort in this wind and this weather conditions.
Yeah, it's a bit of luck. I came out and grabbed it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Of course you know what you're doing. Things have taken a bit of a turn for the worse.
It's a bit windy. And I'm not sure that the wind is my friend today.
Yeah,
Quite the opposite.
it's the 20th of May, so you know, we're Mayfly fishing in our shorts.
We're not.
I mean, seriously.
This is horrendous. But hey ho. We're British. We're still doing it.
Yeah. We'll pop down to Moorcourt at the bottom and just have a look under the trees there and just see if we can find something. Oh God. There's nothing like dry fly fishing in these conditions.
Yeah. Even the ducks aren't on the water feeding.
Yeah, the ducks have decided to stay on the land.
Yeah, no, they're sensible. They're off. I'm very glad though that I've got my new waders on.
How's your new waders, by the way?
Do you know they're really warm?
What are they?
They're eye waders.
Eye waders. Yeah, I remember you telling me about them. So
They're
what's...
really, really comfortable because they stretch.
Ooh, stretchy waders.
Well, you know, getting over a gate is quite helpful. They're brilliant. They're so warm.
Are they're warm and they're stretchy, are they? They've actually got some give in them.
They do. Which, to be fair, is, all joking aside, is really, really useful.
Yeah, no, that is quite useful.
Because quite long ways are just quite rigid, aren't they? They don't have any give in them at all.
Well, they don't have any give in them.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Right, let's just walk on the return path. We're nearly in the shelter, I think. This is like trying to find the lee when you're out on the flats.
there's just,
You've got a howling gale coming in.
I can't fishing, it'll be fun, he said.
Yes.
Okay, this is why we've only done this twice in 15 years.
Well, it's because every time I take you, it pisses with rain.
Yeah.
I sense a theme. Nearly there.
Yeah, God.
It's calming down a bit now under these trees. This is definitely worth fishing up through here. So this is just all a bit quieter. There's normally some very good fish hanging in under these trees.
This is funny, just turning that corner, it's noticeably
Exactly.
quiet.
Protected by these two belts of trees. Right, let's have a look and see what we can do. It's pretty, the wind's going in the wrong direction. Well, I think we actually missed the beat.
I think pretty much everything that is getting up against us is getting up against
I think these are about the worst conditions I've dry fly fished in for a while.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps maybe it's time to discretion be the better part of valor.
Go and have a cup of tea.
And we'll go and have a cup of tea, and I think we'll sign off at this point. As always, I hope you found this little extravaganza fun. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one, when hopefully
It'll be warmer.
the
and
weather will be a
clearer.
little bit better. See ya.
Bye.